Hello everyone, welcome to this video on Windows Command Prompt versus PowerShell, brought to you by Edureka. In this video, we'll dive deep into the key differences between Command Prompt and PowerShell. I'll show you why PowerShell is the tool you should be learning today, especially if you're looking to advance in system administration or IT automation. But before we begin, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit the bell icon for the latest tech content from Edureka. Also visit the Edureka website for various training and certification courses. The link to the website is in the description box below. If you have ever worked with Windows Command Prompt, you know it's a great tool for running basic commands. But there's one thing it just can't do. Have you ever tried running a complex automation tasks in Command Prompt? You might be left scratching your head, right? Well, PowerShell has got you covered. You see, PowerShell does not just execute commands. It lets you automate scripts and even manage entire systems, all with one power than Command Prompt could ever offer. Talking about the difference between them. First is the maturity. Command Prompt, introduced in 1987, is stable but outdated, with minimal updates over the past 20 years. PowerShell, actively developed, is a modern and reliable tool for system administration. Then comes the cross-platform usability. Command Prompt supports older Windows operating systems but lacks compatibility with modern non-Windows systems. PowerShell, since version 6, supports Windows, Mac OS and Linux, enabling cross-platform collaboration. Then is the language. Command Prompt uses simple MS-DOS syntax, whereas PowerShell employs commandlets in a verb-noun format and includes aliases for ease of use. Next is the redirection. Command Prompt offers basic file redirection, whereas PowerShell enhances this with advanced piping and redirection capabilities. Next is output. Command Prompt outputs plain text, making data processing difficult, whereas PowerShell outputs objects, allowing flexible formats like table and lists. Then is the scripting. Command Prompt relies on basic batch files with limited features, whereas PowerShell uses an object-oriented .NET-based scripting language supporting advanced automation. Then is the libraries. Command Prompt lacks library access, restricting functionality as well, whereas PowerShell integrates with .NET libraries for diverse tasks like database interaction and web services. Then we have the Windows Management Instrumentation integration. Command Prompt provides minimal WMI access with a limited to text outputs, whereas PowerShell offers robust WMI interaction with commandlets and WQL supports. Next is the Microsoft Online connectivity. Command Prompt lacks native cloud service integration, whereas PowerShell includes modules for seamless Azure and Microsoft 365 interaction. Next we have is the supported programs. Command Prompt supports native executables with limited third-party integration, whereas PowerShell supports intensive programs and allows custom commandlets. Last we have is the help. Command Prompt's basic help features offer syntax guidance, whereas PowerShell's Get Help provides detailed explanation and examples for each commandlet. Alright, let's dive into some examples to see the differences between Command Prompt and PowerShell. Let's start with something simple, listing files in a directory. In Command Prompt, we'd use. In PowerShell, we will use. While Command Prompt gives you basic output, PowerShell provides a detailed list of objects, including file size, creation time, and permissions. Now let's create a file with some content. In Command Prompt, now let's type in the PowerShell. PowerShell makes it more structured and allows you to modify the file content easily. Need system information? Here's how it's done. So let's type it in the Command Prompt. Now in the PowerShell. PowerShell gives you a better structured output and you can filter the properties you need. Want to filter processes by CPU usage? Now let's type the command for it. PowerShell makes it easy to add conditions and even export the results for reports. Bulk renaming is a common task. Let's compare it now. In the command prompt, in PowerShell, with PowerShell, you get more flexibility like adding custom logic for naming. Now let's check the disk space usage. So let's type the command in the command prompt. Now in the PowerShell. PowerShell provides a more user-friendly view with additional details. Next, let's fetch network details. Now in the PowerShell. PowerShell presents detailed, structured data that's easy to parse. Here's how you can export data to a file. So let's type the command in the command prompt. And now in the PowerShell. PowerShell supports exporting in multiple formats like CSV and JSON, making it ideal for data analysis. Let's manage system services now. Let's type the command in the command prompt now. In the PowerShell, PowerShell allows filtering and controlling services dynamically. Finally, let's run commands on remote machine. In command prompt, it often requires third-party tools such as ps-execute, that is a powerful utility to execute commands on remote systems. And the other command we have is the plink from the putty suite that is often used for SSH-based remote execution. Now let's see the command in the PowerShell. Over here, you have to type the name of the computer you want to connect with. PowerShell makes the remote management seamless and efficient. Now let's see when to use PowerShell or command prompt. Given its simplicity and maturity, use command prompt to execute quick and straightforward commands. Then run the third-party command line tools designed for command prompts. Now let's talk about the PowerShell. The modern design and advanced capabilities of PowerShell make it the better choice for task automation and system configuration management than the user and event administration. Next is the cloud resource management. Lastly, it is the data processing. Now let's address the big question. Why should you learn PowerShell? First is the automation. It's a scripting language designed for automation, making repetitive tasks faster and error-free. Then is the cross-platform. PowerShell is compatible with Windows, Linux, and macOS, making it a versatile tool for IT professionals. Then the integration. It integrates seamlessly with Azure, Active Directory, and other modern IT environments. Last is the high demand. Knowledge of PowerShell scripting is a key requirement for many high-paying roles in IT. If you're serious about enhancing your career, learning PowerShell is a must. To conclude, we can say that command prompt is great for basic tasks, but PowerShell is the future. Its advanced features, automation capabilities, and cross-platform support make it indispensable. With this, we have come to an end to this video on Windows command prompt versus PowerShell. If you enjoyed listening to this video, please be kind enough to like it. And you can comment on any doubts and queries. We will reply to them at the earliest. Do look up for more videos and playlists and subscribe to Edureka's YouTube channel to learn more. Thank you for watching and happy learning.